New details in a sex abuse scandal involving a late doctor and a Catholic hospital. Good evening, I'm Ted Coppy. Alleged victims of the late George Reardon, who worked at St. Francis Hospital and Medical Center, are now targeting the Hartford Catholic Archdiocese.
News Channel 8's Annie Rourke is live in the New Haven newsroom with the latest on this lawsuit. Annie?
And Ted, looking the other way while children were assaulted is not a new charge against the church, but this is the first time they may be held accountable for someone not in the church, but in a church hospital.
St. Francis was run by two different nuns during the tenure of George Reardon.
The attorney for 49 of the victims, Joel Faxon, says one of the nuns was the executive director of St. Francis Hospital in Hartford and was on a committee tasked with overseeing Dr. George Reardon's research, his so-called growth study.
They had someone who could have done something about this at the highest level of that hospital, and for whatever reason, they did nothing.
The first official complaint of child molestation was lodged back in 1970, but Reardon continued to see children alone in the hospital, even on nights and weekends. When his home was sold 2 years ago, the new owners found a stash of tens of thousands of slides and more than 100 movie reels of child pornography, pictures Reardon allegedly took of his patients.
And in addition to that, we have Reardon's perverse, sick medical records where he would go into detail about what he was doing to these children. The man was a monster.
Faxon says there was never any publications, no data from his study, but the hospital continued to fund it.
The hospital was buying Reardon's cameras, photographic equipment, development equipment, provided him a bed in his examining room. It wasn't an examining table, it was an actual bed.
But is the church legally liable for a doctor working in a Catholic hospital? Faxon says yes. It was a close enough relationship that those nuns either knew and did nothing or should have known.
Reardon was not a priest, but, you know, he had a very close relationship, obviously, with the hospital, with the archdiocese. It controlled the hospital at that time.
Now, George Reardon died in 1998. 135 people are currently suing St. Francis Hospital. Talks have stalled, and their cases will be going to trial. Again, 49 of the victims are now suing the church as well. The only comment the Hartford Archdiocese would give us is that they don't comment on pending lawsuits. Live in the New Haven newsroom, I'm Annie Rourke, News Channel 8.